Today I'm going to answer probably the key question around tutoring that most people must probably have, and that is there any point to it? If we have good quality teaching in schools, why on earth would you need to do private tuition, or why would you want your child to do extra tutoring or hire a tutor? Um, I have broken it down into a few separate points. Firstly, I should say, as I just turned my graphic pad on, I should say I am a teacher. I teach in a UK school. I've been teaching for over 5 years in an Ofsted outstanding rated school. So I'm absolutely coming from a place where I think the teaching quality in England is amazing. I am totally biased when I say that, but I actually do believe it is of the highest quality you could ask for. I haven't taught anywhere else in the world. I don't have anything to directly compare that to, but what I do have is a huge amount of time spent in the classroom and with loads of colleagues who just care so much. So much is squeezed out of the day in every UK school. I think I can speak for every teacher who teaches in England when we say that from the moment the children step in the door, give or take whatever's going on in the day, there is something happening related to learning from around 8:40 in the morning to 3:10 in the afternoon. It is absolutely packed, from early morning activities to schemes in writing to particular schemes that we're assessing in maths. We're doing inquiry learning. We're doing everything from being athletes in different states of being. It is absolutely jam packed. So it's in no way me being negative about the teaching quality in the UK. It's actually the opposite. I would say that I'm a champion of high quality teaching. I'd like to think I represent high quality teaching when I'm in the classroom as well. So it is that, and that is actually, might sound a bit backwards, but that is a real reason why I think tutoring actually does help. As you can see on my little list here, I've got teaching quality as my top point as to why I think tutoring might actually help somebody. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. And it basically comes from the fact that if our teaching quality is so good in the UK, which I think it is, like I said, then more of that is going to be a better thing. If I move on to the next little slide here, highly technical graph here, time with the teacher on the bottom on the x-axis, and learning. I'll just put learning on the y-axis there. We'll just keep it really simple. This is how I see it being represented. Okay, so no time with the teacher, no learning is going to happen. And then as we go up, more time with the teacher, more learning, more time with the teacher, more learning. And then I think over time, that's probably going to level off a little bit, maybe even take a little dip as well. So you can see on the graph there that as you add more time with the teacher in, then learning is going to increase up to a point. The reason I have it so that, if I just change the color here a little bit so we can see what we're talking about, the reason that I have it leveling off around here-ish is because I think if you were just one-to-one with a student the entire day, there's a point where you're going to reach relatively quickly where they're not going to be learning as much. You get all the gains in this initial part here, where you're spending more time together. Yes, you get more learning, reaching the potential, and then it starts to crest off here. And then as you put more time in, they're just not going to want to spend all day with you. And then it's probably going to start having a negative effect if you really go to the extremes with it. But the point is that most of the people, most of the time, in a class of 30, I think we're probably in this kind of zone here. We're probably around here. So, of course, everybody is spending some time with the teacher. I'm not sure if you can see that in green. Everybody's spending some time with the teacher, but if you've got a class of 30, you've got SEN needs, you've got general learning needs, which might pop up. Some people might be really, really keen to get your help. You're obviously seeing everybody in the class at some point and as much as you possibly can, but you're not getting as much time as you could. You're getting a few minutes here, you're getting a few minutes there. If you've got 30 people to get around, including with a TA, you're just not maximizing everybody's potential. Now, everybody's got an opportunity to learn. You can do pre-teaching, post-teaching, interventions, all the good things that we do. But the point is that you're just never going to get the maximum amount out of everybody in one lesson. Now, this area that we've just been dealing with up here, this might represent amazing progress. This might represent hitting the expected standard for year 6 or whatever year group you're dealing with. And children might manage absolutely fine with that amount of time. No problem at all. The point of with tutoring is why are we not, let's go for even more colour here. Let's just rub out a bit of this, rub out some of my annotations and go back to my original graph. just hit in black again. If we send our graph looks something like this, where it goes up, crests, and then reduces, and if we're saying that we were initially in a normal lesson, in a normal classroom, somewhere in this zone, what I'm saying with tutoring is why not push that up? Because extra tutoring time, firstly, it's one-to-one. So if you're going to do an hour session of tutoring, you're going to push that up rapidly. There's no way I'm spending 1 hour with one person in a normal classroom. Of course you wouldn't be. But you're increasing that time with teacher massively, and hopefully you're hitting a sweet spot much higher up that curve. And look at the improvements of learning from this, say, should we say, normal area here up to there with tutoring. It's a massive gain. You don't want to spend so much time. You don't want to be tutoring for multiple hours in the day. But the point is, it's just more time with high quality teaching. That is the basic fundamental part of why I think there's a huge benefit of tutoring. More time with the teacher, more learning to be done. You can, and everything that comes inside of that as well, addressing misconceptions, you have more time for that. You have more time to actually witness somebody, witness, the child actually do their method, answer some questions, see where the problems are, see where things are going wrong, all of those things. So yeah, it's really, really simple. We have high quality teaching in England. Let's do more of it with tutoring. Time, I did already touch on it already, but time is a big one as well. You've got to think of the situation of the class. You've got 30 students, hour lesson. It's not enough time, is it? It's really not enough time to get around everybody, including walking around time, including an input. You're just not getting the amount of time you want. You're not maximizing people's potential. You're trying to, given the time, but you're just not maximizing it. Adding in 1 hour a week as a starting point for tutoring, I think, can make a huge difference. You can mop up all of those little issues that we've got. And the final point I would say is I put anxiety, a little arrow, into confidence. Now, especially when it comes to maths, completely drawn over that there, especially when it comes to maths, anxiety around maths, for whatever reason, it seems to be higher than it is with writing. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be a theme across the years that I've taught, that actually worry about maths and not being able to do it is a lot higher than it is when you do writing or reading or anything else, science, as an athlete. I don't know why, but it's definitely there. The studies are showing that when you actually have a tutor for maths, the anxiety levels can really drop, which is amazing. And that can lead into actually having confidence. And I always see in classes over an academic year, this is without tutoring, just normal teaching, I can see a huge improvement. I can see a huge reduction in anxiety. I can see a huge improvement in confidence. But with tutoring on top of this, it would just accelerate the process. It's only in the final couple of months, talking May, June, July, after SATs for year 6 students, but it applies to any other year group as well. In those last couple of months, I'm seeing the confidence gains. Now, I know if I had a bit more time with each individual student and the day was just longer, that I'd be able to reduce that anxiety more quickly and I'd be able to reach a point of confidence. And as you'll know, when your child is more confident, everything just starts to flow. They will try more things, they'll push themselves on, they'll take responsibility for their learning rather than just doing the bare minimum or just trying to scrape by. So if we can reduce the anxiety as quick as possible, then we can move into a place of confidence much sooner. Again, it all comes down to fundamentally more teaching time. If we're saying that teaching is already good in the UK, which it is, absolutely, then more of that is better. High quality teaching, more of the time, and getting to the result we would have got to way sooner. That's the point of all this. It's, yes, all of these things are possible with teaching if we really, really push, and the teachers are really, really pushing, but we can get to all those good results much more quickly. So yeah, of course, I'm biased. I'm a teacher, so I'm going to say that teaching quality is high. I'm also a private tutor, so I'm going to say that tutoring is going to help. But for those 3 reasons, teaching quality is good. You get more time, and specifically the possibility of reducing anxiety and improving confidence. I would say that private tuition is absolutely beneficial and would be beneficial to any student, regardless of their starting point, SEN status, or their outlook towards tutoring or anything like that. I think it's worth definitely giving it a go. See you soon.